I know two kinds of people. One are the people who tend to be very independent in their lives, not wanting to involve anybody, not wanting to let anybody in on what's happening. People who just feel like they owe nobody any explanation and want to be everything for themselves. And dependent people who feel the need to have validation from people, who feel the need to absolutely have people's approval before doing anything, before setting out on any journey, afraid to take any risks, afraid to go on any challenges, wanting to remain within the safety of approval and praise. And I also find that these two extremes of people, and I don't know whether to call them extremes because at the end of the day, I feel like so many people are here and it's not the ideal. These two extremes of people, at the end of the day, have the same heart posture, just manifested in two different ways. At the end of the day, are self-reliant, have made either of themselves their god or other people their god. At the end of the day, both the independent and the overly or codependent have a void in their hearts, misunderstanding or a misconstruction, misalignment of what it is to live authentically, of who their God should be. These two extremes of people do not know the God they ought to serve. I believe that ideally God would have us be interdependent people. People who need God's approval. Not just want it, but need it. That's the only approval they need. But who are willing to let other people in as well. Why is it so difficult to be an interdependent person? Why is it so difficult to trust and to submit? It's difficult because it requires a level of surrender. It's difficult because it requires us to let go. To let go of having everything always happen as we want it to happen. To let go the certainty of this is how my life will be and this is how my life will go. Interdependence requires that we surrender. And there is insecurity in surrender, or that's how we seem to believe. We believe that there is insecurity in surrendering. We believe that there is security in control, whereas fundamentally it's the reverse. There is security in surrender to God, and a lot of insecurity in wanting to hold on and not let go. I notice both non-ideal categories of people usually I find have difficulties with boundaries. I don't know why the concept of boundaries is so foreign in Africa. I don't know if it's just the influence of culture. I don't even think it's the influence of culture. I just feel like there has been a misunderstanding over the years of what it means to be a whole person. Let's take for example the boundaries of intellects, the rights that a person has to have opinions, to hold opinions, to express opinions, to disagree with other people's opinions, respectfully so. I feel like we have lost touch with the reality that our thoughts matter. The way we perceive situations count, are important. We don't need to all have the same ideas. We don't need to all think the same way. It's okay for us to disagree. It's okay for us to not see things the same way. And it's okay for us to be able to express that difference in relationships. I find that because I often had a misunderstanding of what boundaries are, I would be afraid to own my opinion because would be so different from everybody's, and talk less of expressing that opinion. Because we have lost touch with this concept of boundaries, we find it more difficult to be ourselves, to be authentic, to be who God has indeed called us to be.